And we are live on another edition of Wits and Wagers. We got all the crew back this week on what is today? First week of February, right, boys? First week of
Yeah.
February.
Week of February.
What are we gonna do on Sunday? There's no football going on. This is insane. But let's
Let's
get to
go.
opening statements. Mr. Joey Clams, how are you, my friend?
I'm
Wait,
good.
I'm sorry. Our handicapper, Mr. Joey Clams.
Nikki, thank God you're here. Beautiful. I didn't want to see her mother. Yeah, that's easy money. What's up, buddy? Let's go. We're killing them in college basketball. We knocked them down this weekend. We did good. We did good in the pros. We hit our props. We had a rough night last night a little bit, but we've been doing good this week. We got about 7 games on the board tonight. Fire away, load up, and let's go.
All right. Mr. Carson Shear, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Kurt. My guy, Matthew Stafford, is going to his first ever Super Bowl to represent the Los Angeles Rams. Couldn't be happier for him. And he's got one more game to go. And always a pleasure to be on with you guys. I'm ready to talk some sports. Let's do it.
Mr. Sis, opening statement. How are you?
I'm good. Hope everybody else is too.
And Mr. Kirkpatrick, you, my friend.
I'm ready to roll. Mr. Siciliano and myself on the Wits and Wagers program are there for the small guys. Listen to us and we'll get you a few dollars.
All right, Kenny, can I do this real quick out of, what's the word I always use? Out of sync or out of whatever. Real quick, since Joey and Carson's here. Do you mind if I have 2 seconds with these guys?
Not at all.
Okay. Carson, I'm going to start with Carson first because I've talked to Joey Clams off the air on it. But I'll go to Carson first. This has been a topic. I've seen it on ESPN, heard it on the radio, but our 2 really good friends, me and Kenny, been talking with our good 2 friends from Rocky Mountain, Dave and Matt, about this situation. But Carson, the Rams last year, before the season, they basically went all in, right? They traded their draft capital. They had Jared Goff. They said, listen, we gave him a bad deal. Jared Goff can't get us to the Super Bowl. We got to do something. And that something was trading couple number 1 picks, Jared Goff, and getting Matthew Stafford. They also then traded with Denver a number 2 and a number 3 to get Von Miller. Carson, was it worth what the Rams did?
100%. And you'll see why next Sunday when Stafford and Sean McVay hold that Lombardi trophy together. They went all in on this year, and I don't blame them 100%. It's I'll go more into detail once the Rams win the Super Bowl. But, like I said, I've watched this man for a decade of my life. He's been one of the most undervalued, underappreciated quarterbacks in NFL history. He's just about to cross 50,000 passing yards in his lifetime. What a hell of a season he had with the Rams. I said back in September, we all picked our Super Bowl champs, and I said Los Angeles Rams because of that guy, number 9, Matthew Stafford. And you're seeing why. He's putting on a showcase. There's a lot of talent around him. Obviously they gave up to get some defensive pieces, like you said, in Von Miller. But it should be one hell of a Super Bowl. Cincinnati Bengals, props to them. That was an unbelievable game, unbelievable finish, and I can't wait for it. And it was 100% worth it, especially when they hold that Lombardi trophy.
And
next
real
week.
quick, Carson, I guess some of the people who are saying no is they're saying, well, then we're going to sacrifice the next 6 years if you do it now. Well worth it. The windows in the NFL are so small. I think it's well worth the Rams doing it. For the Rams' sake, would you still, even if the Rams 6 years down the road are a little more down, it's still worth it, right? What they did.
Oh yeah, 100%. First season, if they can go out, they just made it to the Super Bowl, especially if they ended up winning it. I think in your case too with the Broncos, you guys got some draft capital for Von Miller. They went all in, like you said, and a lot of people were skeptical. There was a lot of pressure on Stafford, a lot of noise he had to make, and he delivered, and he did not disappoint. And even with the Lions got some good draft capital. Goff had a shaky season. We're going to give him another year, see what he can do. But he did take the Rams to the Super Bowl under Goff as well. So I'm looking forward to what our young core has, but I couldn't be happier for Stafford.
I definitely got
everything.
Definitely got some questions later when we talk about the Senior Bowl a little bit, but I've been giving you props, Carson, with Matthew Stafford on our Wednesday show for weeks, and you nailed it. And you know what? not giving up on Kenny Golladay neither next year because of our offense this year, the quarterback performance. But it's almost like, if this makes sense, like your team, has been bad for so many years, which players, it's easier to know which players are doing good on a bad team as a team that's Super Bowl contender every year, like the Chiefs, for example.
Yeah.
But those good players stick out on the bad team, and you called it. And hats off, man. You said it.
Guys, real quick, Eddie Murphy saying hello.
What's up, Ed? Yeah, I'll get more into it. I hope the Rams win it all, because you're going to see me in one of the most frustrated phases on this show, going off on the terrible ownership that is the Ford family and the Lions organization. I told you guys week in and week out, there's not a worse team and a worse franchise than the Detroit Lions, especially if Stafford holds that Lombardi trophy next week. Boy, oh boy, I don't understand at all. They are, it's a dumpster fire of a organization. I've had to suffer it my whole life. So, I couldn't be happier for Stafford. I hope he wins it all, and we'll see what happens next week for him.
Awesome. We're gonna have some good shows next week, Wednesday and Thursday. So we're gonna preview the Super Bowl. So both of those days we're gonna have guests.
Kenny, can I just get Clams' real quick? We haven't had Clams because you and I insist. So Clams, real quick. I know we talked a little off the air, but for what the Rams did, I mean, is it worth it? Are you worried about the next couple of years, or what the Rams did? Bang.
The NFC West is the toughest division in the NFC, and they had to win their division. Because they won the division, they got 2 home games, and now they're in the Super Bowl. They needed a quarterback that could throw the ball downfield, make all the throws, and he really picked up that offense. He did hit a couple of rough spots, but Goff wasn't the answer. You need a quarterback. It's so when you build your team, it's to win the division. When you win the division, then you win the conference, and then you get to the Super Bowl. And that's what the Rams did. They get a first round pick in another 3 years. So what? He's going to be there for another 3-4 years. You cross that bridge when you come to it. You're ready to get the champagne right now and taste it. This is what you do in preseason in the locker room on the bulletin board. February, 13th? That's where we want to be, and that's what the Rams did. They put all their eggs in one basket, and it's worked. They had all the talent around it. They need the quarterback. You need the quarterback in this league to win.
You know what, Joe? You nailed it. And I'm going to name a couple other guys. Cooper Kupp. He's there next year, isn't he? He's still there. He ain't going anywhere.
Oh, the Rams are going to be good for the next.
Is Aaron Donald going anywhere?
Nope.
No. Mm-hmm. So what? You're all in. Go for it. You got your best offensive weapon, and you got your best defensive guy lined up for the next couple of years as well. So don't be surprised if they're there next year.
And they won two home games, and they beat 2 division rivals to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay, Rams are the favorite again next year.
Yeah.
Hands down.
And the NFC is look at the quarterback.
Brady's gone, and if Rodgers leaves,
look at the quarterbacks in the NFC. Who are they?
Right. Dak Prescott ain't going to do it.
With Wilson, you don't know where he's going. The AFC stocked with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that another time, Kurt, when you're ready.
Okay. Real quick, couple comments, Eddie Murphy. Every play in the Giants was a slant. Galladay is a 50-50 ball guy. I hope Dable and the OC can bring out the real Daniel Jones. Henry Zimenoff, our good friend, saying so. John Elway had a lot to say about the time when he interviewed Brian Flores 3 years ago. He was very truthful.
How you doing, Henry?
Maybe there's a chance Flores will lose the lawsuit and be placed on the commissioner's exempt list unless it's just the players that get placed on there. Eddie Murphy's predicting the Bengals 31-27. But you know what, Kenny? And Sis mentioned this last night when he brought this whole thing up. Elway came out today and Elway said, listen, I'm defending my name here now, okay? This did not happen. That was not the truth. The Denver supposedly has cameras with times and all this. But I agree with Henry. This guy Flores can say boom, 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 boom. If he's lying, he shouldn't be allowed in the NFL anymore. This is getting ridiculous now. Seriously, ridiculous.
Why don't we get into it's unfortunate news, but why don't we talk about it for 5 minutes with Brian, for those who don't know what's going on with Brian Flores. He was fired off the offseason by the Dolphins, and then he's been going for interviews, and our Giants and our Broncos are two teams mentioned in allegations that he made, that he didn't get a fair shake with the Giants, that Brian Dable was hired already because of Belichick sending text messages to the wrong person. And then the Dolphins owner telling him to tank, and I'll pay you $100,000 a game for tanking. And then with the Broncos, what Henry just said. So, what are your thoughts on Brian Flores as a whole, sis? Like this whole thing, like, do you think there's going to be a lot of truth to this when it's all said and done? Do you think there's going to be some false accusations?
If there's any truth to it, right out of the gate, the Miami Dolphins owner will lose that team. As far as him making the accusations, as far as, he wanted to pay him $100,000 to lose games, I don't believe that at all.
Now, sis, Eddie Murphy's saying this. Do you agree with this comment from Eddie? If he's lying, meaning Flores, he will be sued as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. The bottom line is somebody's lying here.
Right.
So, they're going to find out who it is.
And
all I'm saying is you when you're accusing somebody of something, okay, you better have proof. Can't be just he said, she said, and all of that. You need proof.
We got Mr. Beelan joining us tonight.
What's up, Beelan?
On a special Thursday appearance by Mr. Beelan.
Yeah, I got a couple of minutes, but I'm going to hop on.
Okay.
Well, Beelan wanted to talk about something tonight, Kurt, so that's why he's on.
Okay.
So this
Hey,
is
JB, how you doing?
This is short notice, but we just heard the news, and Sis also informed me. I was busy, so I'll let Beelan start, and then we can get Kurt's response. We can go around the horn. But Aaron Rodgers is back in the news, Kurt.
He knows. I texted him too. He was spotted today in Tennessee. He had a private jet that flew down in Tennessee.
He wasn't spotted in Tennessee. That's absolutely false rumors. He wasn't spotted in Tennessee.
We'll see. Well, listen, his house is for sale in California on the West Coast. Supposedly he was in Tennessee. He was spotted in Tennessee. He's looking at property in Tennessee. So, that either gives you a couple of things. He's either going to go to Pittsburgh, he's going to go to Tennessee, or he's going to go to Miami.
I'll respond very quickly on this one, Mr. Kirkpatrick. I will not say who I follow, but there's one of my best source when I'll say my guy I follow. His answer to somebody who mentioned that today was, he said, the Titans thing isn't real. You should get used to the idea that he's coming to Denver. That's all I need to see.
Hold on. Is that a Denver source?
I can't tell you who it is. That's all I need to see.
It's a Denver source because it's a Denver source because you blurted it out. You said, well, he's coming here. So clearly it was a Denver source.
Well, he's not.
Right?
Kurt, by the way, I forgot to put it up. It's this. It's our segment, right?
What?
Nah, I'm joking. I was going to put it up. I'll be
honest. Obviously, Kenny, I will stand by this until it happens. It's Green Bay. If he wants to stay in Green Bay, he decides to stay in Green Bay. He retires as a Packer. If he's out of Green Bay, he's going to be a Bronco.
Kurt, the thing with Green Bay is it's either him or Adams. They can't afford both of them.
Right. That's why he's not going to stay.
And he's not going to stay in Green Bay with no Adams. Like, it doesn't make
any
sense.
There you go, boys.
There it is.
Bring it on. Listen, this is my thing. If Aaron Rodgers goes to the Broncos, I will bathe in spaghetti and meatballs.
All right, we heard it.
Joey, did you hear that, Joey Clams?
Yeah.
Add that to the list.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
John, what day is John? What day?
I want Sis's response.
Yeah,
to this.
give her the response.
Let's get Sis's thoughts on Aaron Rodgers.
Again, everybody's getting all fired up. Where's he going? Whatever. If the rumor's true that he bought a house in Tennessee, maybe he's interested in going there. Maybe he's going to stay in Green Bay. These are all shots in the dark that we're talking about tonight. And truthfully, I don't care where he goes because I don't like him. I don't think he's a winner. And he's proven to me too many times he's choked in the big games. And, that's my take on Aaron Rodgers.
I will say one thing and one thing only, and then I'll let Carson go about this. Tennessee, I would go there in a heartbeat with that offense. Derrick
And that
Henry,
line? And that line.
AJ Brown, and Julio Jones. So that's all I'm gonna say. Carson, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I know.
Whole Aaron
Obviously,
Rodgers situation.
yeah, Kurt would be ecstatic. He'd be a happy camper if he decided to hit the Rocky Mountains and go to Denver. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, I think we can all agree. I don't believe he's going to be a Packer next year. A team that I think would be interesting if he were to stay in the NFC would be the New Orleans Saints. They got a really young core. They've got Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. I was looking at some stats. Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston, they did. I mean, those two are not ideal quarterbacks, and they still led that team to a promising record this year. So I think the Saints would be an interesting option. But like you said too, Kenny, the Titans would be interesting as well. I know. I'm just throwing random teams out there. Nobody knows what's going to happen with the whole 49ers situation. Jimmy Garoppolo, are they going to start Trey Lance next year? Are they going to look for a quarterback? Who knows what they're going to do there? But,
Kurt knows I'm doing this for the show, but I think the Broncos are still the favorite over the Packers and then everybody else.
Right.
And you know what? How about this? Kurt? How about this? You know what the Titans have over the Broncos?
What's that?
An offensive line that can protect their quarterback.
Okay.
And the Broncos couldn't block anybody for their lives last year when Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock got sacked 49 times.
Here's a couple of comments. David Slade saying, thank you, sis. Matt Staffriero saying, what's up, gents? Dave saying, Saints cannot afford him, but the Bucks could take on Rodgers and Adams.
No,
Matt
they
saying,
can't.
Beal,
No, they can't. I read something today that Tom Brady's contract is still on the books for 2 years. So no, he cannot go to the Bucks. Take the Bucks out of the situation.
But here's my whole point though of what we're saying. And I guess this is what we always say with Dave and Matt and Kenny. We always talk about it. Whether it's the Broncos, the Titans, the 49ers, whatever team that is, you go just like this and say, here's our future plans. Throw them up. We could get Rodgers. You're an instant Super Bowl contender. You get him, just like we talked about with Joey and Carson. If I'm a Ram fan or if I work I could care less about 4 years. I'm in the Super Bowl. So I asked Sis straight up last night, Sis, was it worth it? Yep. You're in a Super Bowl. You got a 3 or 4 year window. That's what NFL is. Not 7 years down the road. That 3-4 year window. And you know
I know. Kurt, I get what you're saying. Hold on. One at a time. Yeah. Well, Joey, Beelan, and then I'll respond. Did you want to respond, Joe?
Yeah. Tennessee is an up-and-coming town, an area, and a lot of people are moving there. People that are retiring from the NFL, a lot of people going there, building up communities. And I think his girlfriend is from Kentucky. Is that true? Or
Colorado. She's from Colorado.
Okay, but she's from Colorado, so that and now Peyton's gone from the Saints, so that doesn't, I don't know who's going to be coaching the Saints.
But they got the money problems there, though. That's the problem.
They got money problems there. Well, Tennessee's an up and coming, that's a hot spot now. People go there as vacation now, like they go for the weekend. I got friends that are going down there this weekend for a long weekend, like left today. Like it's a big party town, and they're building that community up. It's not like a one-horse town anymore. So, and I think it's cheap to live down there too. Yeah. It's like a tax breakdown or whatever they call it.
And Kurt,
I don't pay taxes, so
no disrespect to the Broncos, but you have Derrick Henry over Williams, and then you have Julio Jones and AJ Brown over Sutton and Judy, and that offensive line with Derrick Henry going 2,000 yards. To me, it's kind of a no-brainer. Like, and they went farther than the Broncos did, and you're in a division where you have Pat Mahomes, David Carr,
let me just say something about running backs. Henry's a special guy, but running backs are a dime a dozen. You could put a 3-headed monster back there with Rodgers, and they'll definitely, the first job they do is going to fix that offensive line, and he was getting the ball to guys that were changing oil last week or stocking shelves when he was running out of plays when the Packers were hurt. He'll put the ball there. He'll make playmakers out of those guys.
I'm not saying he won't. We're saying that do you want to give up? You know, the problem is, in my opinion, and I think it's fact over fiction, the AFC level of quarterbacks is so much tougher than the NFC. NFC lost Brady. Who's after Brady? Who's the next best after Brady?
But Kenny, I want to interrupt you. You're saying this is where I think a lot of people are saying.
Oh, and Kurt, hold on.
Well, hold on, hold on. You guys think like you're not talking, and again, I'm just gonna like we're not talking about Dak Prescott, and we're not talking about Tua. You're talking about Aaron Rodgers. Like Aaron Rodgers, he believes he's the best quarterback in the game. Like he's not afraid to go play Patrick Mahomes and Justin.
No, I'm not saying he is.
I mean, you got to be.
I'm not
realistic.
saying he is.
He wants to be.
You're putting words in my mouth.
Rodgers wants to be put on a pedestal with a top quarterback of all time. He's not going to worry about I got to go to Tennessee. Like if he goes. He's the best quarterback in the AFC.
We need to do this one at a time because we're starting to jump across everybody.
Let me just say this because I got a dip. Look at just everything in general. He wants to go to the AFC South. Okay, you're talking about Trevor Lawrence, the Texans who don't know what's going on over there, and the Colts who don't have a quarterback. So why would you not go to a division like that with a team that brought you into the playoffs?
Because
you make a good point.
But then you want to go to a team who plays Pat Mahomes, Herbert, and David Carr 6 times a year?
Yeah, because he's Aaron Rodgers, John. He's Aaron Rodgers.
He's the best.
Listen to me, but in his mind,
he can't beat Jimmy Garoppolo. How's he going to beat Pat Mahomes?
Guys,
we need to move on.
That's not how they didn't lose.
We need to move on.
I love all you guys. Have a good show.
All right, Bill.
See you later,
Feeling.
All right, there's Beelan.
All right, well, I'm going to say one thing. The AFC competition quarterbacks is so much more than the NFC. Meaning, not saying anything that Aaron Rodgers isn't going to compete and Aaron Rodgers isn't going to get you to the playoffs. But there's a chance that they may not because there's 5 to 7 quarterbacks that are close to, not saying they're as good as Rodgers, but close to.
Right.
Okay. Mahomes, Josh Allen, Burrow, Herbert, just to name 4. Derek Carr can throw in the mix there. As opposed to Stafford and nobody else now in the NFC. You want to throw Prescott in there, Russell Wilson on the Seahawks.
But
so that's the problem.
But if that's the case, then he's gonna just if you're saying take the easy road, stay in Green Bay. Then you got to stay in Green Bay, but it's not going to happen.
We're just stirring it up. The Titans in the mix, we're just messing around with you.
I seen the Broncos lose a couple of games that if they had a quarterback there, they would have won twice.
A couple of games, about 6 games.
They had the lead against Kansas City, and they were beating them up and down the field, and they blew that game on the quarterback's pick 6 or the fumble. And the same thing in the last game when the Broncos played the
Chiefs.
Played the Chiefs too. They had the lead late in the fourth quarter. I mean,
we're wagering show. Okay, and I think it was Matt or Dave. One of them sent in our group chat, Kurt, the odds of Aaron Rodgers next year.
Our good friend Ricky Winkovich, A-Rod is going to look and find the easy path to the playoffs minimally. Titans aren't going to take a huge hit to get them.
I agree. Now, let me ask you a question. So I'm going to go 2 teams only. I saw the odds that it was either Dave or Matt, and I apologize, guys. You're listening. I know it was one of you that sent this text out. And I'll go Joey, Carson, Sis, myself, and Kurt will go last. I believe the odds were 1,600 for... Was it 1,600 for the Packers, Kurt, and 2,000 for the Broncos, or vice versa?
Yes.
1,600, the odds were for the Packers.
By the way, Beelan's saying, sorry I had to go, but I love you guys, especially my pal Sis.
Hey, we love you too, Beelan. And 2,000 odds for the Broncos. Who would you put money on if you had to put money on one of those 2 teams, Joe? Who would you go with?
I'm going to lean towards the Broncos. But it's tough because Aaron Rodgers maybe likes to play this little cat and mouse game. But I'm going to lean towards the Broncos because you got to remember they never drafted a guy ever for him that played a first round pick that started in the game. They drafted Love. Well, you needed an offensive lineman, you needed a weapon. They drafted his replacement, and the guy never seen the field. Guys that they draft never see the field. It never ever helped him out.
Would you sprinkle a few dollars on that bet?
Yeah, I would sprinkle something on him going to Denver.
Okay. Carson.
Yeah, it's hard because Beal makes good points, and then Kurt made another good point as well because he's Aaron Rodgers. He wants to be the top guy, and he wants to go against elite competition. So if he stays with the Packers, he's going to win the NFC North regardless. The Lions, the Vikings, and the Bears, forget it. Like he'll be comfortable like he always has been winning the NFC North every year. But if he does decide to go to the Packers and goes a different route, he can get better competition. And like if he wants to leave a legacy where he faces the greatest, quarterbacks of this time, I think he goes to the AFC. But I knowing Rodgers, especially knowing what he did through this offseason and the issues he had with the front office and, him not showing up and his off-field stuff, I think he's done with the Packers. I don't know if it's the Broncos, but I don't think it's the Packers next year.
Hey, Carson, and another thing is, he'll win. They'll go 13-4 and 14-3 there. But that's because of him. The Packers are not a good team.
Right.
Yeah.
All year long.
Right.
Yeah.
The coach is not good. The special teams were broken since week 1, and you never fixed it. Like I said it a couple of times on the show, they're not that good of a team. They're not that good.
Right.
The Broncos are a better team.
They are. The Broncos are a better overall team than the Green Bay Packers.
The Tennessee Titans are a better team than the Packers.
Right. They are.
So you're going Broncos too if you had to pick one.
Yeah, if I had to pick between the two Broncos. Yeah.
Sis, how about you? You think Broncos or Packers if you had to pick one of those two?
Again, he could win the NFC North if he stays in Green Bay. The bottom line is with this guy, in my opinion, he can't win the big game. He's already proven it too many times.
That's not fair.
Guessing, I'm going to guess he's going to go to the Broncos, but I don't really think he's going to make a difference there. I really don't.
I'm going to go next, and we'll let Kurt finish this topic before we move on. If I had to pick one of these two now, like if I was on the computer right now and putting a wager on, I would go to Broncos because it's so close, Packers and Broncos. So it's like if the Packers were the clear-cut favorite, I'd say, oh, Kurt, maybe he's staying with the Packers. But 1,600 as opposed to 2,000 is not that far away when a guy is on a team already and not a free agent. So I think he is getting traded, and I think Vegas has got that idea too. So I think that he will be going to the Broncos. I just don't know what the price will be, but that's another question for another day.
Right.
But the question was, 1,600 or 2,000 odds. I'll take the 20-1 that he goes to the Broncos. Kurt.
Yeah, listen, it's the Titans.
I know what your answer is going to be.
Well, no, but he bought a house in Tennessee. He's going to go to
I just brought that up to bust
last summer.
That don't mean anything.
Last summer, he wanted the Broncos. Okay, Packers wouldn't answer. Say it again. Last summer, he wanted the Broncos. 100%, he wanted Denver. Denver's willing to give him an offer. Green Bay doesn't answer the phone. He threatened, yada, yada, yada. So then it was Green Bay said, listen, what could we do to get you back for this year? What could we do? This is what I want. I got out of the 2023 deal. I'm a free agent. Next year, if I want out, you're going to trade me to where I want to go. You heard everybody say it. Aaron Rodgers has the power. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say he's not going to go back. It's up to him. It's two teams. If he wants to stay in Green Bay, he stays in Green Bay. But if he says, I'm done here, he's coming to Denver. That's it.
Fair enough.
Put your money on Denver.
Fair enough. Couple other topics, and then we'll get into college basketball, boys. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. This would be a real quick one. The Washington football team. I just got used to saying that name. Well, the news is out. They are now the Washington Commanders. Thoughts on the team name? Do you like it, Joe? They're called the People's Team, and I think that's getting a little carried away. But Joe, what are your thoughts on the team name? Do you like it? Are you going to get?
Yeah, I think it's.
Are they still the Redskins to you, or are they now the Commanders?
I wish they still were the Redskins, but if people are insulted by it, then change it. I got no problem with that name they got. I mean, I see worse names on teams. Like I don't even know what the Seattle team is in hockey. I don't even know what they are. What is that?
The Kraken.
Yeah.
It's a mythical octopus,
monster.
I think.
Pelicans and for basketball.
Yeah.
I like, I mean, that's not a bad name.
What do you think, Carson?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I kind of wish they would have gone more towards like an animal approach or, something along those lines. But Commanders, if you want to, I'm just happy they're not the football team. I'm at least happy that they're at least called something besides just the football team. So if it works well for them, their fan base likes it, go with it.
Sis, you like the name?
I could care less. They'll never win, so it really doesn't matter.
Kurt, what do you think of the name?
Exactly. That doesn't matter to me. I mean, it's
I find it funny that they're called the People's Team when they got the biggest jerk of an owner, pardon my French, in Daniel Snyder. I hear he's the biggest jerk out there, and he's going to be labeled the People's Team, and Jerry Jones over there, America's Team. But America's Team versus the People's Team. I could see it now. That's the rivalry.
Real quick. Dave's saying, why am I skimming over Matt in his comments? I'm not. Just a lot are coming in. I'll read a couple, though, real quick. Hold on. Let me get back. Dave's saying, I'll go with Packers. We have no idea who the quarterback is for Denver. If Vegas is banking on Rodgers going to Denver, explain to me how Green Bay with Love is still higher. Matt's saying the road to the Super Bowl in the NFC is easier. Beelan's going, I picked the Broncos as well. No brainer, but Rodgers on the Packers is better than Rodgers on the Broncos. Ricky, I'd stay away from the AFC. He's not beating Burrow or even Josh Allen. Beelan's then saying, Ricky, it's a team game, not a quarterback game. Matt's saying last year was the Raiders, 49ers, and Broncos, but I do believe they will never trade him to the 49ers because I think they said they're not going to trade him to the NFC. Dave's then saying, if Rodgers comes to Denver, I do not want to hear any crying from Kurt after Rodgers retires and we are back to our losing ways. I won't cry, Joey. Me and Joey said it. Give me 3-4 years, Rodgers. I'm a Super Bowl contender for 4. I really don't care about 6 years. We'll cross that bridge when we get down there.
They'll never win the division without a quarterback.
Absolutely. Henry, the NBA has revealed the new and improved Kobe Bryant MVP trophy for the 2022 All-Star Game. The details are insane and it may be the best trophy in all of NBA. I did see a picture of it.
By the way, we need to start referring to Mr. Zimanoff as Anchorman Hendry Zimanoff.
There you go.
How you doing, Hendry?
Guys, Dan Worley, our good friend, who Dan, we will definitely get in touch with you this weekend. We're gonna talk with Carson. We're all setting something up to meet up with you, Dan.
How's it going, Dan? Any other comments, Kurt?
Say Dave just said you have cared about the last 6 years after Manning. Why a change of heart? I've said it 100 times. Of course I care. I want to win. But if you said to me right now, I can go back to 2012, have those 4 years of Manning, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl championship, and then the next 6 years are going to be like these last 6 were, I'm signing up for it, signing my name. Let's go. Give me those 4 more years.
All right. Well, this is perfect. Dave and Matt and everybody else listening out there, this is a perfect segue because I want to talk about the Senior Bowl for a few minutes before we get into college basketball. So the reason why I want to bring up the Senior Bowl, guys, is I'm going to name the quarterbacks that are in the Senior Bowl. Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, Carson Strong, and Bailey Zapp. Corral's out because he was hurt, unfortunate injury. My question is, Kenny Pickett opted out. I'll start with Kenny Pickett. Opts out of the Peach Bowl against Michigan State. Now, I get it. Dave answered a great question. I had this question for Dave in our chat. And Dave said it's a great scouting opportunity for these guys. My question is, and I'll start with Carson. And I'll go Carson, Sis, Joey, Kurt. Isn't the bowl game, my 2-part question, isn't the bowl game a good scouting option too, because you're playing against the top team, 1, and 2, if Kenny Pickett's a top 10 pick, why does he need to play in this game? And now I'm hearing his draft status is dropping already, and he was predicted as high as number 6 with Carolina. So just like a 2-part question there. Your thoughts on some of these quarterbacks playing? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What are your thoughts on the whole situation? Because the other talent isn't as popular. The wide receiver level isn't there. The the edge rushers and the top defensive guys aren't playing. So it's the quarterbacks playing against, third and fourth rounders, let's say.
Yeah, I got mixed feelings on it, Kenny. It doesn't really make sense, especially in Kenny Pickett's case. He opts out of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, which I understand because my guy Kenneth Walker did the same. That game's going to be more competitive, so I guess there is more risk of injury in those big-time games. But now you're saying you're going to come back for the Senior Bowl when you have to share the time with few other quarterbacks as well. So you're not going to get many snaps in because you got to share the love with the other seniors. So again, it is a Senior Bowl, though it's more relaxed. Not really as serious as like a New Year's Six bowl game is. It's going to be more. There's not going to be injuries in the Senior Bowl as the bowl games could have potentially happened. So I kind of understand he wants to go out one more time, show the scouts what he can do. But it is unusual. I think especially he knows that this quarterback class could be potentially loaded, and he wants to make his final footprint before he enters the draft as well. And again, it is the Senior Bowl. Most quarterbacks, if they're good, junior year, they'll leave. But Kenny, he's a senior. He wants to compete in that because that's kind of his last hurrah as a college athlete, along with all the other quarterbacks. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a really interesting Senior Bowl, one of the more exciting ones that we've had in the past few years. But I have mixed feelings on it. I don't really understand, but I also get why he's participating in the Senior Bowl rather than just skipping out of everything completely.
Well said. Sis, what are your thoughts on this Senior Bowl?
Let's lay the cards on the table. This is not going to be the 199th pick out of all these quarterbacks. And in my opinion, from watching all these quarterbacks, the most any of them will ever do is be a backup in the NFL, if that. That's my thoughts on it.
Joey, what are your thoughts?
With this quarterback draft this year, and always a quarterback, they're overdrafted and they're inflated their stock. Like this year, you won't see a number one or a number two pick be a quarterback. But remember when Herbert went to the Senior Bowl and he lit it up because the coach he had at Oregon handcuffed him. So he did, when he got into that game, he was going to show off his skills to show him that why he's going to be a top 4, top 5 pick. So these quarterbacks going in there, they're going to show off their skills. They're going to be able to make their throws, the long throws. They're going to be doing everything they can in their best power and show off all their skills that they got. This is good for them. And the quarterback that I like is Carson Strong from Nevada. That's who I like. I think he's ready to play.
I'll go real quick, Kurt, and then I'll let you finish, and then we'll get into some college basketball. I saw like mock drafts, and I don't remember the kid's name from Rutgers, one of the wide receivers. Projected to go 7th round. Again, 3rd, 4th, and all the way down to 7th round picks. The first and second round wide receivers aren't there. So how can you evaluate these guys if they have a bad game as opposed to a good game?
Well, Kenny, let me just say that he's projected as a 7th round pick on what he did at Rutgers. They were in a high-powered offense. So now you got a kid that you were holding back his skills. And he gets in this game, he's going to show up. It happens all the time. Players' stocks rise in this game.
I get that. No, I get what you're saying, Joe. Yeah. I totally get what you're saying. I'm saying, how can you evaluate, and I'll just throw the names up there. How can you evaluate Kenny Pickett if he goes 10 for 20 and, because the receivers aren't getting open, for example, or because he's playing with the lower talent as opposed to the higher talent?
The scouts that are there, they're going to be looking at his feet work.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
They're not looking for him to go 13 and 13 and throw a couple of screens here. They're looking how he is in the pocket, how his reads are, how he's.
I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. Yeah. Kurt, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't look at it like I kind of look at it a little different than you. Like the whole college bowl game. I mean, I think we were talking about this with Sis or Carson, one of the shows. Like, Kenny Pickett, they're playing Michigan State. I mean, listen, Michigan State's going to win the game. You know, Beelan's saying this is kind of like a quote unquote like the Pro Bowl. You know, like, do you really think somebody on defense is going to take a cheap shot at one of these quarterbacks? No. But I think this group of quarterbacks, they're not very highly ranked, right? And coming out, it's a weak class. None of these guys would have been first round picks last year. So, you know, you do have quarterback desperate teams. And when I mean a quarterback desperate team is like a Carolina Panthers, right? Like, what are the Panthers going to do? No free agent's going to go there. They're not going to trade for Rodgers or Wilson or even like a Garoppolo or Cousins. So what is the Carolina Panthers option? Of course, they're going to take a gamble on a quarterback like that. So, but is Kenny Pickett, Willis, those guys top 10 picks in this draft? No. I mean, the Giants need, you called it the best. The Giants need a quarterback, right? You have 2 top 10 picks. So everyone would say gamble on a quarterback. Giants aren't going to gamble on one because they're going to get 2 franchise players, linemen or defensive linemen or O-linemen that are going to play. What's Kenny Pickett going to do? Be the backup to whoever they eventually get 3 years? So it's not worth getting those guys. They're not top 10 picks. They're not. Right. Nobody in this draft. There's no future franchise quarterback in this draft. Last year, you could still go and say, listen, you knew Trevor Lawrence was going to do it. Zach Wilson, very ranked, very highly ranked. Burrow, like those guys are franchise. These like Kenny Pickett, I mean, he's, a second round guy. He might develop 6 years down the road. I mean, he's not a franchise quarterback though. So why pick him at 10? What happens, sis?
Kurt, there's some senior ball.
He'll be in an old age home before that happens.
Right. I mean,
6 years down the road. I mean, think about it.
Right.
If anybody knows anything about this game, there's not a quarterback in this draft that's even worthy of a 4th round pick.
No, you're right, sis. You're right.
That's just my opinion.
These guys, you're right.
And I totally disagree with that. Malik Willis has got a lot of upside. A lot of upside.
Happy too. He's going to be the sleeper. You watch.
Malik Willis is. Okay. Let me. All right, sis. Let me just ask you a question. It's respectfully disagreeing. That's all this is. Okay. Malik Willis's traits. Okay. Big arm. Number 1. Running ability, number 2. Small school, number 3.
Right.
Does that remind you of a quarterback in the NFL?
You could stop right there. Small school, never played against big competition.
Right. Well, no, sis. Actually, sis, he did. He played in the SEC for Auburn, and he couldn't make the team, so he transferred
there you
out.
Go.
Well, there's your answer.
Okay. Well, you know what, sis? My answer was, because again, I'm just respectfully disagreeing with you. I think this kid has a lot of upside.
That's fine. You can
Malik Willis.
I'm going to disagree back.
Josh Allen, Wyoming.
Oh, stop! You can.
Yeah, I mean,
come on, Kenny. Come on. Josh Allen's a prototypical
small school, big arm.
Let's go on to the basketball picks with this.
Come on.
That's the problem. That's the problem I have with you guys.
I'm with Kenny. I think you got to give them at least a shot to see what they can do, especially in the NFL, before you can kind of jump the gun.
There's other opinions.
I think there's a lot of potential with this
class.
The
problem is there's other opinions. There's other opinions besides everybody. You guys aren't always right. Well, I'm not right. Let's
sometimes
I have never ever
look
said
at Baker
I'm
Mayfield.
right.
Like you pick
Never.
Baker Mayfield goes number 1. He can't throw the ball over the line. Sometimes
right.
sometimes you get a quarterback in the late round that plays like a Tom Brady.
I want to read the comments, Kurt, if you can't see them. There's a bunch for the college.
Dave's saying, so you guys are saying that no one from small schools can play in the NFL.
Josh Allen's from Wyoming. Ben Roethlisberger.
Big Ben.
Right.
Nobody's saying that. We're talking about this year's quarterbacks. Nobody said small time quarterbacks can't play. We're talking about this year's draft. That's it.
Right.
I mean, think about what you're talking. Think about what you're talking about.
Listen, I'm with sis. I'm 1,000 with sis.
I know,
These guys,
you guys,
Kenny.
That's fair.
So Kenny, if he
sound like you don't know what you're talking about.
Kenny,
really?
you're the biggest one on here besides me. Justin Fields is a bust. Listen,
yes, he is.
Justin Fields is a better pro prospect than Malik Willis. Okay,
oh,
and I don't like Justin Fields. Don't even go near that. I mean,
Exactly.
you saw what he
I
did.
100%.
You saw what he did.
Okay, well, you guys have your opinion. Carson and I have our opinions.
Which is fine.
Okay, and that's it. And that's it. But let's read the comments before.
Let's move on to college basketball.
I want to read the comments first because our audience is reading a lot of comments. I'm going to read the comments.
No, you're a little out of order yourself. You're a little out of order. You insulted.
I'm going to read the comments.
Go ahead, sis. Go ahead, Kenny.
All right. Dan, thumbs up. Matt, let's go. Matt, talk Malik Willis so Kurt blows a gasket. Beelan opts out of the bowl but plays in a useless Senior Bowl game. Meaning Kenny Pickett.
It's not useless.
Senior Bowl is like the Pro Bowl game. Dave,
No,
I think that the Senior Bowl is more of a controlled environment and less risk for injury. Dave, the Senior Bowl is the beginning of the draft cycle along with pro days and the combine. Beelan, I don't know how it helps to play in the Senior Bowl. It's like a scrimmage game. Dave, a lot of players go to the Senior Bowl because you get to work with NFL coaching staffs and it's more about the practice and drills they do over the game. Dave, all right, so it's about the small schools. And Dave, you did, sis. You said small school for Willis, and that was enough.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, can I just say one thing, sis, real quick, Kenny, real quick?
Let's get final thoughts on this whole Senior Bowl.
Real quick. Alabama fan.
We're going to go one by one.
Okay, Alabama fan, right, Mr. Sis? So, Kenny, I'm going to ask you, Bryce Young, if he came out in the draft this year, where would he be drafted?
Who you're asking me?
You. Where would he be drafted if he was eligible for this draft?
Dead silence. Dead silence.
Carolina would take him at number
No.
6.
He would be number 1. He would be number 1.
Oh, so Jacksonville would take him number 1.
That would be moved. He would be the first quarterback taken, okay? Hands down.
Absolutely.
So my point is, if these guys were in the draft last year, they're not second or third round quarterbacks. Why would you take them at 6 now? Stupid. They're not. They're not.
Love it.
I mean,
I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh when you do get Kenny Pickett, and then you got his jersey in 2 years because he becomes a first round.
You still didn't answer that question though. Bryce Young this year would be the number 1 pick in the draft.
This year, yes.
Arch Manning, if Arch Manning was eligible, he would go
before
don't even
these
start.
Guys. Don't even
so
start.
These guys
Carson, you see what I deal with Kurt?
But wait, real quick, seriously though, Kenny. These guys last year, none of them were graded first round, possibly second round quarterbacks. Why now? Because you need a quarterback? Just take somebody at number 6? That's dumb.
That's what they do, Kurt. That happens all every
I know,
year.
but it's stupid. It's
Kurt,
stupid.
They're
Kurt.
overinflated.
Kurt, you're putting words in my mouth. I flat out said none of these quarterbacks are worth the top 10 pick. At the earliest, I would take them is 15 to 20. Earliest. Okay? But I would take somebody in the late first round or second round if they dropped.
Right.
That's the difference.
But that's
Malik
not
Willis,
a
Sam Howell.
franchise-changing pick.
And you know what? Sam Howell was a
6.
top 5 projection last year.
Right.
Last year. So you go up and down. Okay. So he was a top 5 projection last year. So there is somebody in the draft this year that was a top quarterback.
Here's, you know what then, Kenny? This is what I'll say to you. You're the Giants.
I would take one of those quarterbacks in the late first round.
No. You have two top 10 picks. You should be saying, what's his name? What's his name? The new GM. I want a quarterback. Take Malik Willis. But they won't because it's a bust of a pick. At 5 and 7, it is. Right.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I never disagreed with you. Never disagree with either of you about the top 10 pick.
Top 20, I wouldn't take any of those guys.
If I was Pittsburgh or Colts, that's when I start taking quarterback. Yes.
Okay.
My opinion. That's
let's move on. Let's move
get
on
some
to the
college
basketball.
hoops.
Enough of this. Yeah, really. It's ridiculous.
Let's get some
It's
college
annoying,
hoops.
too. It's annoying.
What time's the Senior Bowl?
I'm not sure.
More comments, and then we'll get to them.
Pickett from Pittsburgh. Are you kidding me? Get going. Stinks.
Oh, wait. You guys just said
Sis,
we're
I'm
talking
with
about
you,
this
sis.
draft. Arch Manning plays high school football. How can you make a comment like that? He may fizzle out in college.
Because
Yeah,
he's
okay.
Arch Manning. Because he's Arch Manning.
That's because he's
Have
got
you
the
seen
last
him?
name Manning.
Have you seen
Yeah, he'll
him?
fizzle out in college. Yeah. Who made that statement?
Dave Slade made that
Wait,
comment.
did
sis.
Zion?
you
Hey,
go.
is Zion fizzled out in
Disappointed,
college?
Let's see, Dave, what I deal with over here, Dave.
I'll text Dave later. I'm really surprised he said that. He's very knowledgeable.
Arch Manning. It's going to be Elway, Peyton, Andrew Luck, Trevor Lawrence, and Arch Manning.
Kirk.
Those will be his rankings. He'll be the number one pick, and they'll be tanking for Arch in a couple of years.
And how'd it do for Jacksonville this year?
Well,
let's move on to basketball like Sis wants to do. Because we can
don't
go on all night
yo, don't put it on me. Let's move on. Because you're getting bombarded now. And you don't want to hear it.
Right.
I'll go all night. I'll go all night on this one.
No,
Lionel Richie, all night
go from
long.
now to next week.
You know what? We'll go on 8 o'clock. Mr. Slade, you want to come join?
Listen to this guy. Oh my God.
But listen,
let's go to college basketball. All right.
We're not going to talk about the Chiefs game, or no?
That's next week, Joe. We got a big Super Bowl preview.
I ain't coming on this show next week.
All right, here we go. Tonight's action. A big Pac-12 action. There's a bunch of games. We're going to start 8 o'clock tonight. We got like 10 minutes. We got to pick these games. 8 o'clock tonight, UCLA number 3 at number 7, Arizona. Joey Clams, 6.5-point favorites, Arizona at home.
I took UCLA. It's one of my plays tonight, the Bruins.
I'm with you. You know why? I watched them. Who did they play? Arizona State last week, down the whole game at home. Mm-hmm. Arizona barely got them, so I'm with you. I am going to take.
Just watch if UCLA is healthy. I'm hearing right now that a couple of plays, they're going to be game time decisions.
I'm going with you. Carson, where you going? UCLA, Arizona?
Yeah, same UCLA. I like what Coach Cronin's doing over there. Johnny Juzang, UCLA. I think they won by like 16 the last time they played them, which was a few weeks ago. So again, you just said, they struggled with I think it was Arizona State.
Arizona State,
They pulled away. And I'm going to go with UCLA. I like the Bruins points.
Sis, UCLA, Arizona.
I just got a text from Vegas. The game's canceled.
Who do you like?
UCLA.
Kenny, you sweeping this?
Nope. I'm taking Arizona, and I took Arizona in my picks today, so I'm going Arizona.
Okay. Let's move on to the next. Oh, I'm sorry. Kenny's picking Arizona. Sorry about that. Henry Ziminoff, real quick. Colorado has to win tonight, or they'll be in big trouble. The Buffs have to stay to win to stay in contention for the first round bye in the Pac-12 tournament next month. Joe, who do you like in that game? You like Colorado?
I'm all over the Ducks. But the Ducks they haven't won there in a long time. But coaches got this team. This is the part of the year when he gets his team going. He's a good coach. Late, what is it now? 2.5, 2?
Yeah,
2. Yeah, bet him, put him on the money line. Later 130. Take the Ducks on the money line.
All right, we're going to roll into some Saturday action. Again, we don't have spreads, so we'll just do winners. Kenny, number 7, UConn at number 12, Villanova. Big East battle.
Villanova at home. I think Jay Wright will have them prepared in that game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know me and Joey were talking today about late down the road. Villanova, I don't know, they're a little shaky, but at home, they hit the 3 at home. I'm with them. Carson.
Yeah, same with you guys, Villanova.
Sis.
Villanova.
Joey Clams.
Going UConn. I don't like the way Villanova's playing. They look a little soft to me. I'm going to go with UConn.
So so you like them on the road?
Yeah.
All right. Next game on Saturday, another Saturday slate. We got number 8 Baylor at number 10 Kansas, Carson.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good game as well. Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm going to go with I'm gonna go Baylor. I'm disappointed. When they played Kentucky last week, they got blown out by them at home. I think Baylor comes in and they take control. I'm gonna go Baylor.
Clams.
I'm gonna go with Kansas.
You know what, Joe? I'm gonna go with you on this because I agree. I've never seen Kansas get beat like they got beat last week with Kentucky at home. I mean, Kentucky, and we said Kentucky, you were saying today, that's a big pick for you, but Kentucky laid it on them at home. I mean, they were down over 20. I think they're going to bounce back, though, and I think they beat Baylor. Sis.
Kansas.
Kenny.
With Sis, I'm going to go Kansas in this at home. I think Bill Self, just like I said, Jay Wright, I think he'll have them ready to go at home.
All right. Saturday night, we talked about it a little last night. 6 o'clock. I am definitely going to watch it. Not that I'm a fan of the teams, but you know what? It's something you have to watch as a sports fan. Coach K makes his last appearance at North Carolina. Number 9 Duke at North Carolina. Carson, I'll start this off for you. With you, sorry.
Oh, Duke for sure. You see what Roy Williams did for that program and the team they have this year. A big difference. Give me Coach K all day.
Kenny.
Yeah, you know, Carson, it's the one game I'm going to disagree with you respectfully. North Carolina is going to be fired up for this game as well. So I'm going to take the Tar Heels at home, who may even be an underdog in this game. I'm curious to see the line. So I'm going to take the Tar Heels at home in Coach K's last appearance at Duke.
Sis.
They'll get the envelopes to the ref so Duke wins.
You know what? I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with you and Carson. I just think this is one of those games where, you know, listen, Carolina's going to be jacked up. Their fans will be jacked up, but I don't think these kids are going to let Coach K lose his last game at North Carolina. So I'm with you. Joey.
Going with Tar Heels. If they're getting points, I'm taking the Tar Heels at home. He'll stamp his feet and he'll cry for every single goal like he always does, and he'll get them. But give me Tar Heels at home.
Okay. Number 5 Kentucky. The Joey Clams' baby right now, right? The Kentucky Wildcats. They go to number 5 Kentucky travels to Alabama to play the hot Alabama Crimson Tide, who beat last week Baylor at home. Sis, does Alabama do it again, or does Kentucky keep it going?
Nope, and I'm not a big Alabama basketball fan. Alabama at home will beat Kentucky.
I'm with you. I think Alabama at home beats Kentucky also. They're just a different animal home. Again, this team was a very good team.
Yep.
Beat up on Gonzaga, had controlled pretty much Baylor last week. I'm with you. Carson.
Yeah, I want to apologize to Sis because we all laughed at him when he said Alabama was going to beat Baylor, and he proved us wrong. So, again, like he's right. I think they play different at home. I'm going to go Alabama here.
Joey.
I'm going to go with Kentucky. They're going to control the boards, which they do. They've been doing it, and they destroyed Kansas. And they're starting to blend right now. And they're not freshmen; those are sophomores and juniors there. And this is a hungry team. I like the way they play. Give me the Blue Cats.
Mr. Kenny.
I'm going to Roll Tide. That's a sneaky team in the SEC, and Auburn and Kentucky better watch out. I know Auburn got them at Auburn a couple of weeks ago, or last week, but come SEC tournament time, watch out for the Tide. That's a dangerous team.
And one more game we got Sunday afternoon. Number 6 Houston going into Cincinnati. Carson.
Yeah, give me Houston.
Yeah,
Cincinnati,
I'm with you.
though, but around March time, though, watch out for them.
I know. You know what? This is a little sneaky game. I'm going to take Houston, but I wouldn't touch this because I could definitely see Cincinnati. But just for the show, I'll take them. Joey.
Yeah, Houston is going to be.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carson.
Teams.
Who'd you take, Carson?
Houston.
Okay.
He took.
Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, this game I got to see what the spread is. That's Sunday before we start handicapping it. But Houston is one of my teams that I like to go pretty far this coming March.
Kenny.
If I'm going money line, that's what we're doing here, basically money line Houston. But I would definitely look to see what the spread is, and may take Cincinnati with the points in this game, if the points are looking favorable with Cincinnati at home. But Houston would be my bet money line.
What about you, Sis?
I'm going to go with Houston with Carson, and unfortunately, Mr. Carson, Joey Burrow is going to break your heart.
Oh, man. Joe Burr.
All right, Mr. Kirkpatrick. That's those are the picks for the week.
Okay, real quick. No really best bets. I don't have any best bets tonight. Next week, we're going to do a Super Bowl preview show on Wednesday. We'll have guests all night. And then Thursday as well, we'll do some wagers, and we'll have some fun on Thursday as well.
Yeah, Joe, you got to jump on with us. Carson, if you could jump on with us Wednesday too, around your stream and stuff like that, however you want. Joey Clams Wednesday night for our Super Bowl show.
Yeah, we'll get you on early, Carson, and then,
Sure.
I know you got your thing to do, but if you want to come on for 10 minutes, that'd be good.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be there.
Real quick, Kurt, my top, I don't know, I didn't do this with you guys. I think Kurt and I did it. I got a top 5 college basketball. My top 5 is Auburn, Gonzaga, UCLA, Houston, Kentucky.
Hmm.
And then I also did my final 4. You know, you can't really do a final 4, but teams to watch out in the tournament: Auburn, Baylor, Gonzaga, and I know Sis is going to agree with this, Illinois. Watch out for Illinois in March Madness. Those are just some little bonuses I had there. Anybody else want to throw teams to look out for come February and March?
You know what? My sleeper was Illinois too, Kenny. I was talking to Sis about this before. Listen, Kofi's back. What's the point guard's name? Cabarro. What's his name? Carson.
Yeah, Cabarro.
Cabarro.
Yeah.
They got Frazier. I mean, this team, you know, they were right there last year. Everyone was picking them last year, and I think they'll
I'm
be
picking
right
them
back.
this year. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I watched that game yesterday, and my disappointment's going to be Wisconsin. That I talked to Sis yesterday. I said, "We got no these white
They're done.
these
Wisconsin.
kids can't stop Kofi."
Right.
So,
Joey Clams, what do you got?
Auburn's very tough.
Yes, Auburn is
Hey,
very
Kurt,
tough.
I
Sis.
know me and you and a lot of people always say Purdue, they choke when they get, they only get so far in the tournament and they disappoint. But if this coach lets the point guard run his game and do his thing, because they got the people around him, they're great on the boards, and this point guard let them loose, they're going to be dangerous. I think this might be the year they get to the Final Four. But I like Houston, Kentucky, UCLA, and I forgot another team that I had. I might have told you this afternoon, but I forgot what it was right now off the top of my head. But look out for some sleepers like Oregon. That was another team, because they go every tournament, every year. They go far, they go deep. That guy could coach in a tournament. He knows how to coach. And there's a big game tonight. Look out for Wyoming. Watch out for Wyoming if they ever get to the tournament. They got a great point guard. Watch out for Wyoming.
Carson, and you could say Michigan State, but any teams you want to look out for,
That
and
was
then we'll
another
get final.
team. I had Michigan State also.
There you go. Joey knows what he's talking about. He's nicknamed Mr. March for a reason. Tom Izzo, baby.
I know Kurt's all aboard on that.
Absolutely.
Anybody else want to throw any teams out there, or final thoughts, Kurt?
Final thoughts, Mr. Sis. Final thoughts.
Illinois, Auburn, they'll both be in the Sweet 16. Carson, I love you to death. I hope your boy Stafford does win the game, all joking aside, because I know that's your boy. I won't be on the show next week because there's too much nonsense on here, so I won't be on Wednesday, and I won't be on Thursday. That's my closing thoughts.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Go ahead, Joey Clams. What do you got?
We got a bunch of college basketball games tonight. Kurt, did you put those games up on the bulletin?
I will put them up. I will. You got to give them to me and put them up.
Don't wait till they tip off. Put them up now. We got about 7 games tonight. Got to make some money, and good luck to everybody. Big week of college basketball starting tonight. A lot of games tonight.
Mr. Shear, Mr. Carson.
Yeah, always, of course. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys doing this. Love talking with you guys every Thursday. One of the things I look forward to every week. Enjoy the weekend. Stay safe. And one more week, man. You're going to see Stafford hold that Lombardi trophy. I'm looking forward to it.
Boy, Carson.
Hold on, sis. Let me go ahead.
Well, Carson, you got a special stream tonight. Please let everybody know where they can follow you in an hour and roughly 20 minutes, 25
Yeah,
minutes.
if you guys like casino content, roulette, blackjack, craps, slots, the whole 9 yards, you guys can follow me on Twitch, Ticket Time YT. We typically do live streams Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays. We're doing a bonus night tonight, so definitely head on over there if you guys are interested. And then highlight videos on my YouTube channel, Ticket Time, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Awesome.
Okay, I'll go next. Kenny, you can finish. Again, Carson, I'm with you 100%. Your Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. Stafford's probably going to be the MVP. And it just proves to you when you have a championship window, go get it now. Don't worry about 6 years, 7 years, 10 years. Go get the Super Bowl now. You like Clam said, the Rams had everything but a quarterback. Go get your quarterback. And it's the same thing my Broncos are going to be doing in a couple of weeks. They're going to get their quarterback. And that's Aaron Rodgers. And I don't care what it takes. Give up picks, and let's go get them. Because you know what, Carson? Maybe it's Stafford versus Rodgers next year. in the Super Bowl
Oh.
because there'll be a
Oof.
shot of it. And
That'd be
sis,
awesome.
Sis, my last comment. The funniest thing you might have said on the show tonight is when you said to Kenny, "Pickett, you gotta be kidding me. He stinks."
Do not text me or call me unless it's Kurt. 'Cause I will not take texts or your phone calls.
And Mr. Kirkpatrick, you have the final word tonight.
Well, first of all, you all know I don't like Kenny Pickett. That's first of all. But anyway, what I was going to say is this Super Bowl reminds me of the Dodgers-Rays World Series. You got the team, the Dodgers, you got the Dodgers, who are the Rams. You know, they got the stars, they got the players. They went and bought some, made trades and did everything they needed to do to win the World Series. And you got the Rays, who did it through small market team, build in through draft and small market, not small market, a small market, small team, not paying players a lot of money, young team. So you got both sides there who are the Bengals. So I'm loving this Super Bowl. You got the big wig against the little guy. So Davey versus Goliath. Let's see who wins. I'm hoping for a good game. And we'll do our preview next week, Kurt. We'll have special guests on throughout the night. And we'll see you on Wednesday.
See you guys next week. Oh, sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
Yeah, and everybody's moving down to Tennessee. I heard there's a guy going down there, named Big Eddie. He's going to open up a hot dog stand down there. Eddie dogs and peppers, potatoes and eggs, and peppers and eggs.
Listen, clams, don't call me tomorrow and try to pick my brains because it's not a good look, bro.
How'd those horses do today?
Yeah, one paid $325. That's how good they did. The other one was scratched.
All right, so you made money. Okay.
There you go. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Love you.
See you guys.